Well, good afternoon, YouTube. Arizona RE here, and I'm on my test road. Unfortunately, it is during rush hour. Why am I on my test road? Why am I on the test road? I'll tell you why. Because I already did my first mod. That's right. I already did the first mod. So after a couple of days of riding this bike, I realized real quick I wanted a set of bar risers. So I got these Rox risers, and man, what a world of difference 2 inches makes. I know, that's what she said. But wow, man, I didn't realize how much of my weight I was putting over the bars and pushing onto the front wheel. So it made the steering a little more twitchy. And on top of that, just my wrists were getting tired. You know, I go out, and if you spend a couple hours on the bike, you came back and your wrists were kind of fatigued, you know. So I started researching it, and yeah, it appears that the XCX and the XC versions of this bike all get a 2-inch factory riser under the bars, and this one didn't have that. This one's considered the roadie version, the version that's supposed to stay primarily on the road, and as a result, it didn't have that. So I looked up risers, and the ones from Triumph, unfortunately, were not as adjustable. They were just straight 2-inch risers. These right here, these Rox risers, they pivot. So you put the risers on, and you use your factory clamps, and then you pivot them where you want them. So not only is it 2 inches higher, but it's also, you know, tilted back a bit more. So needless to say, there's a bend in my elbows now, and entirely different feel to the front end of this bike. I'm not doing so much dampening with my arms. It's amazing the world of difference. It really is. The bike, to me, feels smoother, and the steering isn't as twitchy because I don't have so much of my weight over the front wheel. You know, when you put more of your weight over the front wheel like that, you end up with I mean, you do end up with better braking on the front, but you also end up with the steering being really sensitive to that extra weight. So now this thing feels it feels just like the Bonneville, only lighter. It's amazing what 2 inches will do. Unbelievable. I mean, it's not the only mod I did already. There we go. I also have my phone on here, but I really don't consider that a mod. I mean, you just clamp it on, you know. But yep, I did the 2-inch bar risers. So for those of you that are curious, these are the Rox risers, and it's 1 1/8 inch bar to 1 1/8 inch, because they sell some. So if you had a 7/8 inch bar and wanted to go into a 1 1/8 inch, you could, and vice versa. So I got the 1 1/8 inch all the way around, and I got it, and I think it was, I don't know what it is. I got it in the anodized aluminum, whatever that means. It looks like the factory riser, so that's all I was worried about. If I was going to go with a black bar, black aftermarket bar, then I think I might have done that when I got in a black one, but then you never know what the powder coating is going to look the same and everything else. So seeing as how I'm not going with a different bar, well, technically I'm supposed to stop here, but I think a tight little U-turn is okay. And we're back. And I'm getting on with the bike rather well. It's amazing how much fun this silly bike is to ride. I mean, it really is just as quick and flexible as anything else I have. It's hard to believe it's the lightest bike in the garage because it's the tallest. And it feels like it's running on a rail. Unbelievable. Anyhow, the Rox risers big thumbs up from me. And thanks for watching, you guys. Smelling good, Anthony Cigars.